Okay, so Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'm taking you a bit into the spirit for this morning, of course. Even now, it doesn't matter how the challenges or all the negativity and everything. I said earlier on, somehow you have to be optimistic. Get this done. Well, so don't you're fighting or climbing a hill and you see that, well, it's treacherous. It's so difficult to do it. You don't give out. Don't throw in the towel because of the challenges that you're facing. But you try to still prod on, as my brother Felix would say, and some way, somehow, you get there. But it's not about 7 minutes past the top of the hour. The Monday edition of the morning show. I got my colleague, Mr. Oluyomi Koikio, the way out of London studios who are joining. Let me say a massive good morning to you, Yomi.
Well, it is a very beautiful good morning to you back in the studio. Good morning to all our viewers. Good morning to all our listeners from around the globe. And we welcome you once again to the 27th day of June 2022, 7 minutes past. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And this is where you can get all the news, especially when it comes from Nigeria. I'm going to be telling you a little bit more about that image that is behind me in the due process of this program. It's just about 700 years old of a Yoruba kingdom bronze that has now become between the UK government, the antique dealer that bought it for €200 in Belgium. It was stolen in 1987. 700 years old. I'm going to be telling us a little bit more about that. But for now, I say good morning, and I'll come back slightly again to you in the studio.
Yes. How are you doing, sir?
Well, it's good to be back, after a very brilliant weekend. I'm going to be telling you more about that as well, because there was, I'm sure you're aware about the Windrush. They had a very big event at Bulges Park in London, where we also attended as well. And if I just show you a little bit of myself in one of the London Metropolitan Police vehicle, which is right there, quite a lot of people were a little bit shocked, especially those that are following us, thinking maybe we were arrested by the officer, myself and one of my colleagues, my uncle, that we went down there. But I can tell everybody that we are fine and safe. It is just how it is done when there's a big festival in UK. We do have emergency services there. They do come in there and promote what we know as community engagement, and that was exactly why I was inside one of the most. It's my first time of being inside a London Metropolitan, and this is one of their BMW that drives around. I'm sure most people must have seen them in UK. Yesterday we were in Luton again for the Yoruba Awareness Street Evangelism. All that means that my weekend was fully packed. But I'm back again this morning with you, Mr. Archie. I spoke to Frank myself over the weekend, and I'm sure he's working very tirelessly behind the scene. But for now, I'm going to just also leave that image of that sculpture that we'll be talking about later on this morning as well.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olaimi Koiki, and how his weekend was over the weekend. Now, how was yours? Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. It's not time for us to break you what is happening across Nigeria at the moment. But let's talk a bit about this bronze, because somebody just signing or joining and was like, okay, what is this bronze all about? And how important are these artifacts to Africa, and in this particular instance to the Yoruba people, and your agitation of yes, that is going on at the moment?
Well, actually, before I traveled, yesterday, to Luton, these, image was brought in by, the BBC on their website, and I'm going to give us a bit of a background about it. It's not shock to some of us, but maybe to some it could be shock. But what you are actually witnessing there is a Nigerian Ile-Ife that has now become why the UK police are holding a priceless sculpture. This is a 700 years old Ife bronze between what was sold by the Belgium authority in Belgium in 2007. So let me just quickly give a summary about that. Like I said, this headline came from the UK, media that we all know, known as the BBC, almost a day ago. But I saw that yesterday. So it caused the headline: Nigeria Ife Egg, why UK police are holding a priceless sculpture. And this is what it goes. British police are keeping a stolen statue worth millions of dollars in their custody as a dispute rages between a Belgian antique dealer and a Nigerian museum over its ownership. On the 24th of January 2017 was a cold, foggy day when someone walked into Willie and Willie's auction office in Mayfair wanting to sell this particular sculpture. The person, the auctioneer, saw this and right there knew that this bronze cast egg was coming from Ife, which is Ile Ife, where we are also yesterday attending a lot of events. I saw one of our very powerful royal king, the Oni of Ife. From Ife, a Yoruba kingdom in what is today known as the southwestern Nigeria. Originally Ife bronze egg, of which only 20 of these is still surviving as we speak right now, are thought to be 700 years old. So how did this end up in UK is the question that I'm sure a lot of people would like to know. The original one that we're talking about is the one behind me. It's got a bit of damage, and the damage was due to the fact that when it was being shipped out of Nigeria in 1987, after it was stolen in the museum in Jos, it was stolen, end up in the Switzerland, and then somebody wanted to sell it for $500,000 Swiss, but it was returned back to Nigeria around 1999 until it surfaced again back. When it was stolen in 1987, it was reported to the United Nations Cultural Organization, UNESCO, as other item that was stolen. But the question again was, why then, the item found its way back to Belgium authority that then sold it as somebody that wanted to buy a vehicle, and then you could just buy the vehicle as somebody, a government property that is being auctioned. This item was then auctioned for €200, which is under 170 pounds. And the question then is, the Belgium authority have refused to give details of how this item end up in their own possession and then being sold in the auction, for peanut. And the owner that bought it now is in dispute with the Nigerian government, saying, I will only pay, you only have to pay €5 million for me to return, the ownership of it. The police are saying that this is now a case between where the Nigerian government must have a conversation with this individual so that this item could be returned back to Nigeria. So since 2019, 5 years now, this Ile-Ife, a Yoruba, a powerful sculpture that was made about 700 years old, is now in the United Kingdom, is not yet returned to Nigeria. The person that bought it from Belgium, the antique dealer, is saying, okay, I will take 33,000. It was even, according to the journalist that wrote this article, and this is what he had to say. On the 14th of November 2007, the Belgium authority held an auction of confiscated art item. Among the lot was this Ife bronze. It was bought by a local antique dealer for a princely sum of €200. These extraordinary sales raised three obvious questions. How did this stolen treasure came into the hands of the Belgium authorities? Why did they let it go? And did the dealer know he was buying one of the African greatest masterpiece? Let me come back again to you in the studio. This has become a mind-blowing. I actually got a call from one of a prince that lives here in UK, and he says they are aware of this, and this has been ongoing as so many artifacts are here in the United Kingdom and most other European countries. The question then again to the Yoruba people is, it proves that the Yoruba kingdom has been in existence before the name coin Nigeria came in place after the amalgamation in 1914.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio. The question is, if somebody goes to buy a stolen goods and the person is arrested, you say, look, I bought it at this price, so just give it to me. They'll tell you that you bought a stolen goods, and therefore you don't get anything. You don't take that. You mean you'll be in prison for that as well. But how would this pan out for the Yoruba people? We're going to be following it very, very closely, very, very closely. Now, let me ask you one question. That you talk about the fact that this proves that the Yoruba nation existed before all this Nigeria and the formation or the amalgamation of the various nations to make it Nigeria. Okay. Now, so do Yorubas actually want all these things back, these artifacts back, and would that actually unite you? Would that how does that actually impact your quest to gain that freedom? How does it actually impact you? Let me ask you that.
Well, a lot of the Yorubas. I mean, I was actually reading, the interview of the Yoruba leader, Professor Banji Akintoye, this morning, and I'm going to touch maybe a little bit around that when we come to some of the headline. The question you ask is, how does this impact? The 1914 amalgamation, brought in different tribes, different individuals together, and then it was put out there. And the question is there unity in Nigeria after the amalgamation? Has there been peace in Nigeria? This particular item, a lot of people that have contacted me says they will still rather want it to be in the country until a Yoruba nation is achieved, and then they can take it back. Because when it go back to Nigeria, just as it went back, after it surfaced in 1999 or thereabout, and then it was returned back to Nigeria, but all of a sudden it surfaced back again in Belgium in 2007, and the Belgium authority has refused, to give how it came into their own possession. The question again is the 1914 amalgamation. Yes, there are some few documents around it, but when we talk about the Yoruba kingdom, the Yoruba people, these particular bronze now prove that the Yoruba kingdom was in existence before Nigeria name was brought in 1914.
Okay. Yes, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olaiyinka Ike in our North London studios. I'm actually in the Starr studios here, and we're going to be looking at some of the other stories. But if you're listening to us or watching us for the first time, this program comes away every weekday, and the update from Nigeria comes on is from 11 a.m. Okay, and that's why we have Mr. Olaiyinka Ike on now. So share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones, and invite them to like our pages. Anthony Adedeji, massive good morning to you. I hope that you had a very nice weekend. Okay, now let's move on to some of the other stories that is making the rounds, and then there are a few others that Chief, the breaking news. I've been trying to see whether I can find it, but Justice Tanko Mohammed has resigned over ill health. Who is the Chief Justice? Now, yes, give us a background to it and how it impacts the government at the moment.
Well, who is the Chief Justice himself? Remember last week we were talking about the Chief Justice traveling outside the country with his family, and while the other judges were not given the same opportunity. Chief Justice of Nigeria, also known as the CJN, is the head of the judicial arm of the government of Nigeria and presides over the country's Supreme Court and the National Judicial Council. His being brought in was a very, very complicated one because, the previous Chief Judge that was removed while he was brought in created a lot of what we could call, the issue again around, ethnicity, whether somebody is really capable or maybe the government was just taking off, certain particular tribe to bring in a particular tribe, as we've always seen that happening in most of the, the parastatals in Nigeria, whether the armed force, the judicial and the rest of it. So why is he resigning? Is the question, because this is just a breaking news that I've just, as we were coming into this conversation this morning. From what we know, is now resigning on the ground of ill health. There has not been, when contacted the special advisor of the media and communication to the CGN, and Kuraka Yusuf Issa said, all I know is that he's going to declare open a workshop this morning at the National Judicial Institute. So we still have to wait, to see who will take over should these actually become a full resignation. Following the resignation, Justice Olukoya Ariwo will be the next acting Chief Justice of Nigeria. Again, the question is, will this government take in the next person in line, or will somebody have to retire so that the next person of a different ethnic groups will be allowed to take place? Because that is actually what happens in Nigeria. If the next ethnic person is coming there from another tribe, like maybe the southeast, the southwest, or the middle belt, they tend not to get into that position. And for those that have been following, Nigeria for a very long time, I would say that also means that this is why some are saying that the unity of Nigeria is not there.
Now, interestingly, once you were touching on that, then last Friday when we were looking at, or last week, I've forgotten which time, whether the Thursday or the Wednesday, when we're looking at what has happened, why the Chief Justice has traveled out of the country with his family, and other people in the judiciary have not been allowed that. Then it just clicked that it might be how severe his ailment might be. That is why he had to travel out of the country with his family, because who knows exactly what is happening. But do you think that is the reason? I mean, looking at how I captured it now, that's why he was allowed, because he might be the same person who say no member of the judiciary should travel out of the country for various causes, but he has done so. Is it because of the seriousness of his ill health?
Well, it could be because what we do know is that most of them quietly travel out of the country, to get proper medical treatment out of Nigeria. It won't be the first time. Even the president himself have been out of Nigeria so many times, to receive medical treatment. So the question is, maybe he has weighed, maybe his doctors have told him that it's better to, to take a bit of short break, out of, politics, out of government, out of what he loves to do. Because, we all understand when it comes to health issues, we can't joke with our health. And when the health tells you, that you have to definitely slow down, you will definitely have to slow down. So I believe maybe that is the reason why, but we will get more information, I'm sure, within the next couple of days, regarding this particular news that is just breaking out of Nigeria today.
Well, listeners, we wish the former Chief Justice a speedy recovery, whatever it is, that he will get the necessary attention that he needs to get. Okay, so Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Second story is coming through. Reverend Father Vitus Barugo have been killed by terrorists on Saturday. How true is that? And who is Reverend Father Barugo?
Well, this weekend, just as so many weekends and so many days in Nigeria, could be what we call "May Nigeria Never Happen to You." We actually can confirm that 2 priests were killed over the weekend, and I'll be giving us a bit of background, to these 2 individuals. Once again, this is Starr Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, again, there's a breaking news that is coming. Justice Olukayode Ariwola will be sworn in later today, June 27, 2022, as the next Chief Justice of Nigeria after the sudden resignation of Justice Tanko Mohammed from the exalted judicial position. So it is now, confirmation that, there will be a new Chief Justice of Nigeria. Tanko has finally resigned from being the Chief Justice of Nigeria. So that is now a confirmation. So that's the breaking news. Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. So let's go back to the news that you were actually talking about regarding the killings of what we know as those that got caught up yesterday. It is not just one person. There was also another person known as Catholic priest Father Christopher Osir, who was earlier reported to have been kidnapped early hours of yesterday, have also been found dead. We're going to bring up his picture in just about a minute. And likewise, the one that you talked about, which is again, the Father Irobo. So this then takes us back to, is Nigeria really safe as it is, or as we've been told presently? A lot of Nigerians will tell you that Nigeria is no longer safe. I was in Luton, like I said yesterday, and almost everyone we engaged, there was a particular business that I don't want to mention. That is one of the person that got killed yesterday by the terrorists in Nigeria. Catholic Reverend Father that was killed in Edo State, by the terrorists. He was actually on his way to the church. Remember, almost coming up to 4 weeks ago, we also lost, a particular numbers of people that were killed at St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo, southwest Nigeria as well. Until now, nobody has literally, been arrested for that. So we're going to bring the second picture of the father that was also killed. It shows that, just as I was saying, when I was engaging those that we met in Luton, a particular business owner that is also setting up one in Atlanta, we will probably not want to mention the name of the business, for security reason, said he does not want to have anything at all to do with Nigeria. I did ask him why, and some of those reasons is Nigeria is no longer safe. It has become a no-go area for himself and his family, and he would rather, stay away from Nigeria for now. That is also, and that right there, the next picture you're looking right there, behind the camera is the second individual that was killed. So we actually lost 2 Catholic priests to the hands of the terrorists yesterday in Nigeria.
Wow. Listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. As Yomi said, well, that's why we always on the program say that, Nigeria never happened to you. We go for, anytime we go for a weekend, I just pray that, oh gosh, do not come the following week to hear that, well, these people have been abducted, this number of people have been abducted. But, well, until there are changes in the security apparatus of the country and the government is seeing to actually protecting the citizens, we will always be what? Pessimistic when it comes to security. But it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, they offer Sunday Igboho billions of naira to forgo the Yoruba nation agitation. Igboho turned it down. Sunday Igboho told them that the Yoruba nation is the most valuable currency on the planet. Who is speaking? And who offered him that? How true is that?
Well, that is a confirmation that cannot be denied, because the federal government, tried everything. When Chief Sunday Igboho was held down in Benin Republic, the Chief of Staff, Buratai, visited him 3 times, and they wanted to convince him, to forgo Yoruba nation, and then he'll probably be given money and whatever he needs. He did turn it down, and that particular write-up was brought up by one of a very strong individuals on the social media known as Ifa Funshaw at Funshaw Graphics, that they offered him everything and he turned it down. And again, just as it would link us to the next conversation, Northern governors' interest in Tinubu is not a genuine one, may ditch him for Atiku. This is Professor Banji Akintoye, the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Ilana Omo Oodua, was speaking at an interview that was granted to one of the paper in Nigeria. 87-year-old leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Group Ilana Omo Oodua, again, moved from Nigeria to Benin Republic shortly before the arrest and the detention of the leading arrow of the Yoruba Nation campaign, Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho. Both of them are still in Benin Republic, as we know. But what we can say is, when the question was thrown to him about the ongoing of the Yoruba self-determination, how has your group struggled for self-determination of the Yoruba so far? This is a response from Professor Banji Akintoye. It has been as one would expect, because we are trying to take a nation out of another. It cannot be easy. It has not been easy. Personally, for me and the people closest to me, like Professor Wale Adeniran, who is my deputy in Ilana Omo Oodua, it has been dangerous at times, which we all know. In the next couple of days, it will be 1 year that the federal government wanted to assassinate Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho in his house. Animals were killed, 2 individuals were killed, a lot of people were moved out of the compound, and some spent up to 4 months in the captivity of the DSS. So it could be sometimes dangerous, according to Professor Banji Akintoye, because we are dealing with a cultural setting in which killing people is a commonplace. We've just told you that 2 priests were killed in Nigeria, 22 farmers were kidnapped in the FCT capital, from their farm, and up to now, nobody's hearing anything about where they are. We knew, this is Professor Banji Akintoye speaking now, we knew from the beginning that we could get killed in this struggle. But the question is, do we hold on to our lives and let our people continue to get killed the way they are being killed, and let the Yoruba nation perish the way it is likely to perish if no intervention occurs? So we decided to risk everything when the people who are inclined and used to killings decided to threaten us directly. We decided that for this struggle to continue, we must move. So that is one of the reasons why they have to move for their own lives. But as you can see, that an 87-year-old man saying that he would rather do everything to protect, the interest, the identity, the cultural, and the views of those that are Yoruba people, as against the views of the Fulani terrorists that is now all actually every part of Nigeria on a daily basis. People are captured. Remember, we told you about the pharmacist that was kidnapped last week. About 4.5 million naira have now been paid for his release. That is almost about 4,000 pounds. And the question is, can someone this morning easily give somebody 1,000 pounds when your salary itself is 1,200 pounds?
Well, listeners, is it Starr Radio UK? As we say, yes, mainly Nigeria, not happening to you. But there's some other things that I wanted to find out about Professor Akintoye and all that, and looking at the stance by the northern leaders or the northerners who Professor Akintoye is saying that, look, they are going to shun Tinubu. We think that Tinubu, because it's a Muslim, so they are going to support him, and because they were they're trying to cede the presidency to the south, and therefore, but he sees that, look, this is what is going to happen there. Now, Tinubu has not yet, gotten his running mate, has he?
Well, he hasn't got his running mate, and I'm going to come back to that. But this is what the response of what Professor Banji Akintoye had to say. When the question was put out to him, and this is the question, there are feelers that the candidacy of the All Progressive Congress presidential candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the APC presidential aspirant, a Yoruba man as well, with a lot of followers, as also a two-time governor of Lagos State, will whittle down the agitation for the Yoruba nation. How will you react to this? This is his reaction. Then we come back to what and who Tinubu will be using, because there's still a lot of wrangling around that. That is understandable. He is one of us, and we have people who think, let's try this one, whether it will perform. Let's see whether this one will bring some good result. Naturally, this is Professor Banji Akintoye speaking. We expect that, but we were also able to look in depth at the level that an ordinary citizen would not be able to look. For instance, why did the northern governors suddenly turn around to say they were supporting Tinubu? They turned around after Atiku Abubakar emerged as the candidate of the People's Democratic Party. Up to that point, they were saying that they didn't recognize the rotational presidency, and there was nothing like rotational presidency. But when Atiku was nominated, the next hour, they said they supported the southern candidate, Tinubu. So there's something hidden in that. A lot of people don't know it. But when we look at it, we know that the interest of the northern governors in Tinubu candidacy is not genuine. It is not honest. What they have decided to do is to give Tinubu the nomination, then support their brother Atiku in the PDP. That is where they will migrate to and give him Atiku the victory, and that is what's going to happen. So it is not worth giving up the Yoruba nation struggle for that purpose. And then coming back to the situation of where Tinubu will be picking up his his own running mate from. The headline this morning is running mate Northwest Northeast fight over the slot. I am still searching, according to him. There are indications that the northern governors of the APC from the Northwest, the Northeast, are divided over the choice of a sustainable running mate for the party candidacy, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This, as the former governor yesterday revealed that he is still searching for his running mate for the 2023 presidential election. The development is coming in the wake of controversy over Tinubu's claim that also he has lost his academic certificate in his submission for INEC. It looks like we now have another presidential candidate, just as Buhari. We couldn't find Buhari's certificate. Tinubu certificate is no longer something that we can find because if we find it, it might also bring a different age of who he is.
How true is that? Well, listen, it is not really. When it comes to African politics, you can get all the drama there. Okay, but let me acknowledge a couple of people who have joined us on the YouTube channel as well. Arise and Shine TV, Aji Polarin. Yeah, it says, Koiki Eku Ise. Oh, God will bless you in Jesus' mighty name. And then Michael Ade says, good morning, Koiki and Archie. And then Sahid Abiodun I say Yoruba Nation now, no going back there. Now, if you're watching us on Facebook, you want to put your comments there, feel free to do so. And I promise you, I'm going to read all that. But it is the Monday edition of the morning show, updates from Nigeria, with Mr. Olabi Koiki, that is going on. So we'll go to Yomi for some of the other stories making the rounds. It's 11:37. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, it's going to be happening again in London tomorrow, where the IPOB, followers of Imazi Nnamdi Kanu all over the world will be coming out for what we know as a peaceful, mega rally, in support. As every time Nnamdi Kanu is taken to the court, the whole of Southeast goes on what they call key and lock. And tomorrow, he will be taken to the court again for the ongoing case. Remember that Buhari spoke about Nnamdi Kanu issue when he met with Boris Johnson in Kigali in Rwanda, where, Buhari says that there's no way he will be granting bail to Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer speaks on Buhari's comment on IPOB, and this is what they have to say, and that will take us to some of the other headlines as well. Again, this is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer speaks on Buhari's comment on IPOB leader. Mr. Ejiofor described Buhari's comment as careless, mischievous, and utterly false. We do know that Buhari himself, just as he was able to kidnap rendition Nnamdi Kanu, tried that while he was a military dictator in 1984 when they wanted to kidnap Umaru Diko, but that was actually stopped. But it seems Ifeanyi Ejiofor, the lead counsel to the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has faulted President Muhammadu Buhari's comment on Nnamdi Kanu court trial. A lot of people say the president do not have the right to determine how Nnamdi Kanu will be bailed, because that is left for the court to decide, not the president. So it seems also that the legal department of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has also responded to that. And again, he also suggested that the IPOB leader will still jump bail if he will be granted bail. This is Buhari saying that. He says that he must defend himself in the court. Mr. Ejiofor described Buhari's comment as careless, mischievous, and utterly false. He said the comment have confirmed the president's alleged partisan stance on the matter. The lawyer insisted that Nnamdi Kanu did not jump bail, but was compelled to flee the country after his Afara Ukwa residence was invaded by the Nigerian security force in 2017, just as they invaded Chief Sunday Igboho's house. And the question I asked during Niger Voices last week was, should the government have killed Chief Sunday Igboho last year? Will the government have come out to say, we were there, we killed him, and, but I'm sure they wouldn't have said that. So that is the response from, the legal department of Nnamdi Kanu. Let me go quickly because of time constraint, and then we come back to you. I'm going to go straight from there. A very sad one, as couples have to faint after 3 of their children drowned in a pool. What a very sad loss, for such a family. According to what we know, husband and wife had gone for an event when the children left their house to swim in the pool. As of the time of filing this, which was yesterday, surrounding the tragedy were very still sketchy. It was, however, learned that some residents, including security members on the estate, found the children lying motionless in the pool. Again, while I was in Luton yesterday, we had an opportunity to speak to the president, a Yoruba boy, that is now the president of one of the university in Luton, and he talked about regulation. We asked him if we could bring one of our cultural events when they're having their next event. He said, well, as long as there's a rules, there's regulation, and the health and safety. So it's not just we can just go in there and perform our lovely Egungun or Eyo festival in any university campus. They're also concerned about the regulation, the health and safety. So the question is, where was the guide to have been there, making sure that when everybody's going into that pool, there's somebody there to rescue them? What a very big loss to this family that lost 3 children in one go. Aregbesola Oyetola camp says no to reconciliation yet. Aregbesola was the former governor of Osun State. Oyetola is the is the current governor that is also going to be going into an election very soon. And there's a lot of tussle between both sides. Let's quickly touch on Ike Ekweremadu. We know that the Nigerian immigration is also saying that the young boy is not 15 as claimed. He's 21 years old because they have all the details how he collected the passport. Immigration dismissed organ donors under rage claim Ebonyi Dixon back Ekweremadu. I'm not sure why they are already jumping on a case that is here in UK. Why not let the UK authority do all their investigation? If Ike Ekweremadu is found not guilty as alleged to an organ transplant, he will be returned back to Nigeria with his wife. But it seems as usual, the bandwagons all over the world, especially in Nigeria, are already saying a lot, but nobody have the full details because the young boy, nobody knew him until the surface of this case. So let us all wait as we will do here in UK. But the Nigerian Immigration Service has stated that it followed due process in issuing a Nigerian passport. There are so many Fulani terrorists that are holding Nigerian passport. I would say the Nigerian immigration should allow the court of law here in UK to deal with the issue because all over the world, Nigerians are not able to get passports, but the terrorists that have invaded our country have got passport that we have evidence of. So telling us that a passport was issued to somebody, anybody can get a passport. Even here in UK, there's a lot of fraudulent process where people pay money before you can get your passport. So getting a passport in Nigeria of today does not prove anything of who or the age of the young boy. So according to us here in UK, we will still say an alleged organ harvesting by the former deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu and his wife Beatrice. Let us allow the court of law, where Starr Radio UK will be back there as we were there on Friday. We'll be back on the 7th of July when it will be brought again to the court. I'm going to go straight to the social media because of the time constraint. We only have just about 5 minutes left. And I say again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. As now, there's a lot of trending at number 6. As you can tell, Chief Justice of Nigeria is trending. I'm just going to take one out of what is trending on Nigeria this morning on the social media, and then we can come back to you in the studio. Again, Igbo land is conquered region. See how the Fulani terrorist soldiers discredited scarce shrine of ancestors. No region in Nigeria that Fulani will do this, and some youth from Igbo will suffer from astigmatism. Continue shouting Igbo president. This is coming from Nelson Spendy. So I think what happened was over the weekend again, Nigerian military went into shrines, and they say that is the ESN that they're looking for, and continue to kill innocent people in the southeast of Nigeria. Robert Spencer, Nigeria, Muslim gunned down Catholic priest is the headline. Robert Spencer is a director of the Jihad Watch, author of 23 books, many bestsellers, The Truth About Muhammad. He very critics, especially when it comes to the killings of innocent Christians around the globe. So his headline there says it seems a lot of Nigerians. So I'm going to take one from Ifafunsho again this morning. You are lamenting on Sir KB, Patami, Malami, El Rufai, jihadist mindset, yet you want to share a country with them. Is there sense in that? Question mark. Instead of you guys to give your support to Mazina Dekano, Chief Sunday Igboho on self-determination, you are there crying like a baby for one Nigeria. Starr Radio UK, it is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and that is the update, and I'll come back slightly again to you in the studio.
Well, listen, it's Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you, bringing you all the updates that you need to know when it comes to Nigeria. Okay, let's, because we don't have time to spend, so let me acknowledge Adiza Olurunwa Aziz. It's a Yoruba nation now, is what we want. Okay, and Fatai Rafiu says, bro, Koiki, it is well with you. Thank you very much, Fatai. Continue to share the broadcast. And those of you on YouTube, subscribe to our pages. And every time we are on, you wouldn't miss a thing there. You have the prompt, and then you can be on as well. But before we run up the program, now one dies, 10 injured on Abeokuta Sagamu Express auto crash. We don't want to come to auto crash on the African continent. It's something that we can't write home about at all. It's happening daily. People are losing their lives, and we have what? Because those who are supposed to see to it have the means to either fly or drive in very good cars and have all whatever, so they are protected. But the poor, or majority of the people, fall short and then are killed in road crashes now, or auto crashes. Now, what was that accident? How did it happen? Do you have any information pertaining to that, sir?
Well, when it comes to road accidents in Nigeria, a lot of Nigerians, do get concerned, just as a lot of us outside as well. Like I said, we traveled, yesterday on the M1, M25, and you could see, the changes, the pattern of the road. I came here 23 years ago. My uncle that traveled with me, Heritage, said that when he used to travel through the M1, it used to be 2 lane. It has been expanded to 4 as we speak. It's now been expanded to 6. But in Nigeria, it's just a one way, and sometimes the road as bad as what you can think of. So what we can tell you is the Federal Road Safety Corps said that 1 person died while 10 others sustained injury in an accident that occurred at Kobakpe on Abeokuta Shagamu Expressway yesterday. The FRC Sector Command in Ogun State, Ahmed Umar, confirmed the incident to newsmen in Abeokuta. The FRC officer explained that the accident involved in a Toyota Previa and a Toyota Avensis with the registration number AAA301HN. Umar said they occurred at about 6:35 p.m. yesterday, was caused by nothing more than excessive speed, loss of control by both vehicle drivers. So it seems both of them sometimes are probably challenging each other as they do on the, Lewis Hamilton when it's running, forgetting that the road in Nigeria is not as powerful and any support system. And we can only pray for the dead and those that are already sustained injury for quick recovery.
Well, our hearts are with them, and the ones who have the one who died, may they rest in perfect peace, and those who are hospitalized, we pray for a speedy recovery for them. But that's where we say our authorities should rise up and do the right thing. I mean, can you just imagine if the roads, like here, when you are on the motorway, all these cameras, all those speed, they can decide to restrict or slow down the pace of cars that are applying the road, but they're saying that now reduce speed, drive 60 miles per hour or 50 or 40. Then look at it. At times people say that there are accidents, or at times there isn't anything, but they are watching everything and trying to protect or reduce speeds of various vehicles. But what do we say in Africa? Oh my goodness. Well, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We're going to be running up, but let me see whether there have been any other comments. Okay, so far so good. I think I've touched on all the comments at the moment, because I promise you that when you put your comments, I'm going to read that. That's what I'm doing. So Yomi, before you go.
Well, it says from here, Oluremi Ogabi Klanko says good morning to you, Archie. Good morning to you, Yomi. Good morning to Frank and the house as well. Adebi Noah says, please, Koiki, Fulani are 10 people now at Mowe, Badagry Expressway now. Let's remain vigilant and report unnecessary activities of criminality to the nearest security operatives around us. And that is where we're going to bring it this morning. I'll be back again this morning, tomorrow morning rather. But for now, stay tuned with Starr Radio UK, where the show continue.
Okay, so thank you very, very much, Mr. Lightning. Have a lovely day. We'll catch up tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.
Bye for now.
Yes, so I'm going to bring you a tune from Jeanette.
All right, I got to go now. I'm going to drop a Modrasi school, 11:49. I need school tomorrow. Nigeria, Lomotin, Tagugura, Tepala, Rokutukutu. Moribu Boyan, thank you so much. It's been a very long weekend. I thought I could come out last night. I was knackered, tired. I thought I could come out early this morning. I slept off after eating my breakfast. Love you all. Akpadawa later, when time permits, when I'll be doing, some other programs again. But as usual, let us remain vigilant. I heard about the situation in Badagry, and Tewanle, Bebamura, like Fulani Kopa Bubuyi, and Nikemura Dada. And that's how we can advise you. We cannot come home straight away. And then you have to deal with the situation here. So that's all I can say. Ebandro de Chief Sunday Igboho, Fulani Akpa Gbogbo Atan, Gbogbo Ani Igboho. So it seems everybody's waiting for Igboho, when we can all do everything our own self. So that's all I can say. We will continue to use this platform. I might be having a guest coming very soon. The conversation is still going on. A very popular guy in Nigeria, but I want to make sure that we have that resolved before I announce that. But when tomorrow, on the media. So get enough data. Fire Golola again. I'm not going to say more than that. No, she'll be on another program. I will let come to you through the person. So she'll be on this week twice. So enough data. Fire Golola. Olama Lego. No retreat, no surrender. We fight to the last man standing. That's all I can say. I gotta go now. Bye for now.